Good morning, everyone. Today we will be studying about the accounting treatment of various important items relating to income and expenditure account and balance sheet. First one is entrance or admission fee. It is the amount of money paid to the organization at the time of becoming a member. Since this amount of money is received by the organization quite frequently, it is also known as a revenue receipt. Since it is a revenue receipt for the organization, it is credited to income and expenditure account. Now we come to the next item, that is life membership fee. It is the amount of money paid once to the organization while the services availed by the member is for the entire lifetime. Since it is not quite frequently received by the organization, it is a capital receipt. Thus, it should be added to capital fund on the liability side of balance sheet. The third one is special receipts. It is the amount of money received by the organization for specific occasions or special occasions. For example, organizing an annual dinner. Now, the treatment will depend on the expenditure incurred on this particular receipt. For example, the amount of money received by the organization is 10,000 rupees as contribution for annual dinner, while the expenditure incurred for organizing the annual dinner is 8,000 rupees. Now, in this case, the receipts are greater than the expenses. Thus, the difference should be credited to income and expenditure account, while when when the expense incurred on the same is, let's say, 12,000 rupees as against the receipts of 10,000 rupees, the difference again will be debited to income and expenditure account. Now we come to the next item, that is donations. It is a gift received by the organization either in form of cash or in form of kind. There are two types of donations, general or specific. As the name suggests, specific donations are with the condition for usage, while the general donations do not have any specific condition for usage. Since the general donations are received by the organization not for any specific purpose, they are credited to income and expenditure account, while specific donations being received by the organization for a specific purpose, they are shown on the liability side of balance sheet. Now we come to the next item, legacy. Legacy is the amount received as donation by the organization under the will of a deceased person. If the condition for usage is specified for legacy, then it will be treated as specific donation, while in all other cases it will be treated as a general donation. The next item is grant. It is received by the organization for only specific purposes. Hence, it will be shown in the balance sheet as liabilities. Now we come to the next item, that is sale of used sports material. Now, the balance of sports material lies on the asset side of balance sheet, as the same can be utilized by the organization for future purposes. And the sports material consumed by the organization during the entire year is debited to income and expenditure account, it being an expense for the organization. If the old sports material, which has already been debited to income and expenditure account last year, is sold this year, then the sale proceeds for this particular sports material will be credited to income and expenditure account, while if it still exists in the balance sheet and now is sold, then the gain or loss on sale will be transferred to income and expenditure account. The gain on sale will be credited to income and expenditure account, while the loss on sale will be debited to income and expenditure account. Now we come to the next item, which is sale of old assets. Now, old assets, of course, the assets will be appearing in the balance sheet. The sale value needs to be deducted from the asset, while the gain or loss on sale will be transferred to income and expenditure account. The gain on sale will again be credited to income and expenditure account, while the loss on sale will be debited to income and expenditure account. Now, sale of old newspapers will be credited to income and expenditure account as it is a regular function of the organization. Next item is honorarium. It is the token of money paid to a person who has voluntarily undertaken a service of the organization which would have otherwise demanded a fee. Now, since this kind of an expenditure is a regular form of expenditure for the organization, hence it will be debited to income and expenditure account. Now we come to the next item, which is revenue expense. Revenue expenses can be salaries, wages, honorarium, or any other expenditure, rent, printing, etc., which are incurred by the organization quite frequently are debited to income and expenditure account, while revenue receipts such as entrance fee, general donations will be treated as revenue receipts, hence will be credited to income and expenditure account. Capital expenditure are generally made on the creation of assets of the organization, thus will be shown as asset side of balance sheet. Capital receipts are treated as specific donations as they are received for a specific purpose. Next item is subscriptions. Subscription is the amount of money paid by the member to the organization quite regularly. Since it is a revenue receipt for the organization, it should be credited to income and expenditure account. Lastly, cost of goods consumed. These are quite frequently used by the organization during the year. Since it is being used by the organization quite frequently, it is a revenue expenditure. Hence, it needs to be debited to income and expenditure account. For example, stationery. Stationery items are quite frequently used by the organization during the entire year. The amount of stationery consumed during the year will be debited to income and expenditure account, while the balance of the stationery will be shown as an asset in the balance sheet.